It's that time of year again, time to start completing student report cards. In the 2017-2018 school year, Stockton Unified has moved all of the grades TK through grade 6 report cards into Illuminate. I'm Mark Hall, and this video is going to help explain how to complete those report cards in the Illuminate system. Starting with being logged into Illuminate, go up to Grades. If you are within the report card editing window, when you click on Grades, you will see a section about report cards. We want to enter grades, so we'll hit Entry. Once I have this window, I will go down to Courses and select the grade that I want to put grades into. In this case, it's the Grade 1 roster. And then I will hit Find Students. In the resulting window, make sure that you're in the correct grading period, trimester 1, and you're on the correct report card, the 17-18 grade 1 RC. Yours might be G5 or G6, depending on the grade level. I'll hit Load. This gives me kind of a scary looking window. What this window allows me to do is I can enter grades for an individual student. You can see the list over here on the left, or I can enter grades by field group, ELA Group 1, ELA Group 2, or just PE or Science. Now in this case, I've been using my Illuminate Grade book, and all of my grades are already automatically sent over to the grade book. But one area that isn't included in my grade book is the Habits of Success. So I'll go ahead and I'll click on Habits of Success, and you can see I already gave this student an O, but I don't want to go through each student and click in each grade individually, and I already know that all of my students are outstanding. Of course they are, because they have an outstanding teacher. So I'm going to click on this fill down button here, and it'll give me kind of a mini synopsis, and I will put O's in all of them because, again, all of my students are outstanding except for one. Yours might all be satisfactory, and you'll just put S's. But I'm going to hit O here, and then I'm going to hit the fill down button, and you'll see it's like Oprah. You get an O, and you get an O, and you get an O, except for poor little George. Poor little George is going to get an S for exercises self-control. Using the fill down menu can really save a lot of time if everybody has kind of the same grades. You only have to go back in and complete the outliers. So I'll hit Save. So once I've saved this, make sure you save. This isn't Google, save often. Once I've saved this, I'm going to go back to the Select Report Card link up here and load. And just to give you an idea of what it looks like, I'm going to hit ELA Grade 1, Group 1. This is just an arbitrary grouping of a couple of the fields that you will be giving a grade in English Language Arts in Grade 1. In this field, you have the names of the students on the left, and across the top, you have the areas that you need to give a grade to. Those have a red asterisk. There's one here. There's one over here, speaking and listening. And the other areas, these three here, are areas that could potentially be an area of concern. If the student's getting a 1 or a 2, this is sort of an explanation of why that student is struggling in that grade level, in that subject area. So here's George. We talked about George earlier. I'm going to give him an area of concern for decoding words in isolation and in text. That's what he's struggling with right now. And this student is struggling with the same thing. As you scroll across the screen to the right, it's the same students repeated across. There's just their name is every 5th column, so that you don't have to go all the way back to see what student you're talking about in that line. It's just a convenience to have that there. And as you scroll down, you'll see all of the students. You don't have to give a grade to all of these areas. Many of these will probably remain blank. It's only the students that are getting a 1 or a 2, like this student here, will have an area of concern. The student might have all 3 areas of concern, or just 1 or just 2. That's where you use your professional judgment in trying to support why that student is struggling and only getting a 1 or a 2. Okay, remember, this is not Google, so you do need to save. And then you could go on to the next, they're called field groups, the next ELA group, and enter those grades as well. You might find yourself sitting here staring at the same field and it's not changing. You have to select the field group that you want to go to, and then you have to hit load field group. If you don't do that, you're going to be sitting here for a long time with nothing happening. You'll notice that we also have the fill down button here. That's just the same as it was for the habits of mind. You could do the same thing here, give everybody an area of concern, and then come back and take away the ones that aren't an area of concern. So here my new field group is loaded. Now I'm on ELA group 2, which is the language and the reading portion of ELA. Again, my primary grades are already entered. The red asterisk ones are already entered. That's because I used the Illuminate Grade book and pushed everything to the report card. And the only thing left for me to do is the various areas of concern. I can do the fill down menu here and figure out maybe most of the kids are having a problem with identifying the main topic. So I'll do the fill down for that, and then I can come back. I'll have to scroll over to see it. And then I can come back and uncheck, area of concern, those students that are doing fine in that area. And that would leave it with the ones that do. That's kind of your judgment, whether it's easier to do the fill down and come back and change things, or just go through and enter them one at a time. Depends on the numbers that you're looking at. Again, make sure that you save. As you're working through this and you see these grades that are calculated by Illuminate, if you see something that you don't think is right, you can change that right here in this window. Just click the menu and change it to whatever it is you feel is the correct grade given your professional judgment. You're the teacher. You have control of these grades. There's another place we can do this, but in this particular instance, if you see something wrong, go ahead and change it. You're responsible for your grades, not the computer. So I want to go back now to select the report card, hit load, and now I want to look at the fields as if it's just individual students. So I'll click on this first individual student. This is a different view than what we've worked on before. In this case, I have a single student selected, and I can scroll down through that student's entire report card and see the grades that are already there from my gradebook. I can see the areas of concern that I need to add. Here's one. No, that one's there. Everything's there. Here's another mathematical one that I need an area of concern. I'm going to do this one because I'm a professional and I know my students. I know what they're struggling with. The sciences and the social sciences don't have areas of concern, and then I can save it. You could do your students one at a time like this if that works for you, or you can use the previous view that we looked at. I would select the next student and load the student. And then the last area we want to look at is we'll come up here to the report card viewer. And this is going to show you student by student what their actual report card is. This is also where you can start your narrative comments and record those on the report card. So now I can see the report card. I can see all of the grades that were brought over either through the gradebook or in the last field where I was clicking in some areas of concern. I can edit everything here if I'd like. If I see a grade that I think should be bumped up a little bit using my professional judgment, I can do that. If I see an area of concern that I've missed, I can add that just by clicking in the box. It'll take me to my options. I'm going to cancel this. If I scroll down here, you'll see the map scores are down here. And in the map scores, they'll be pre-populated for you, so you don't have to worry about that. They'll be there by the time you print the report cards. So this page looks good. I need to go to page 2 because that's where the narrative comments are. So I'll click on the 2 up here. And here's the back side of the report card. You can see I have about a third of the page for my comments. If I click into this box, this window shows up and I can type up to 1,500 characters there. You just add your comments and hit save, and they'll show up here. The attendance, the days enrolled, and the days absent are going to automatically populate. We're looking at getting the days tardy to automatically populate. We're not positive we're going to be able to do that yet. But take a look at this after the trimester ends. That's when those numbers will be populated in there. Once I've done that, I can come up here to the top of the screen where it has the list of students. I can select the next student, load student, and then add comments for my next student. Once I'm all done, I can go ahead and print. At some point you want to publish also, but make sure you're done first. When you're done with everything, hit the publish button. When you're ready to print, go ahead and print the print button, and that's how you print it. I'm going to save this, and that's all there is to the report cards. Please be sure to give us a call if you get stuck. Give Mark or Viri or Wayne a call. We're more than happy to help you. Send us an email as well. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you the next time. Bye.